I was interviewed by the Breakfast Club, and they asked me what I thought about the Nick Cannon situation.
I'll have to look that up. The Breakfast Club got a hold of you?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Well, I have a podcast, a new podcast that I partnered with iHeart on. So I went on a media run. I don't usually get interviewed by people, but I went on a media run. I was on Breakfast Club. I was on Big Boy.
What?
I was on No Jumper.
You was not on Big Boy.
I was on Big Boy.
Oh my! I gotta go home and do some work now.
Yeah, go look it up. I'll send you the links.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah. I don't do a lot of interviews, but I made my run.
I definitely want to see those too.
Yeah. Well, right when I did my interview with Breakfast Club, the whole Nick Cannon thing happened. With Professor Griff.
So this is recent that you did the interview?
Yeah, like about a couple weeks ago. A week ago or something. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, literally the day after the Nick Cannon thing.
Yeah.
And they asked me what I thought. And what I said then, which I'm still going to say now, is that me and Nick Cannon actually have a personal relationship off camera. We talk. We did talk on a regular basis, and the day it happened, I hit him. And he hit me back. He tried to call me, we kept missing each other, so we haven't spoken yet. Nick Cannon got rid of his cell phone like 3 months ago, so you can't.
Yeah, he did.
You can't even really reach him. You gotta go through other means. New York
and talk to Asia or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I haven't spoken to him, so I don't want to speak personally about what I thought about his words, because I feel me and him need to have a conversation first before I speak about it, just based on our relationship. Mm-hmm. But what do you think about what happened?
Well, Nick and I as well have a personal relationship.
Okay.
And I have spoken to him.
Since this happened? Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because the day before this happened, which was a Tuesday, Nick and I did an extensive interview for his YouTube show, which he was going to send it. I was going to put it on my YouTube channel. And it was also going to be on the Power 106 app and on the the radio show that he had. It was a long interview, though. They were going to chop part of it for the radio, put part of it for the app, and the rest of it was going to be extensive and on the thing. So that was on Tuesday. It was all going to drop on Thursday. On Wednesday, I get an email from the radio station media people, and they said, we're going to hold these interviews for a while. We're not going to drop them right now. Just kind of like play music in a slot and stuff like that. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, man. And so I, too, texted him, because we had some other business that we was taking care of, during that time. And he hit me back and he sounded positive. He said, I'm built for this. It's don't trip, and as long as Nick is good, I'm good. I am not going to comment on what he said because those were his thoughts. I know he's very passionate. He's studying theology in school right now. He's going to get his master's degree. And I know that, he believes what he said. He may have had a delivery that rubbed people the wrong way, but you can agree to disagree, and people can have their feelings about stuff. And, I'm not going to say one way or another how I feel one way or another. But that was Nick, and that's what he said, and he's still my friend. And even if he was the biggest asshole and racist out there, all I could do as a friend would be to try to talk to him and, get him to see that maybe that wasn't the right thing to say in a town that is primarily run by the people who you insulted and pissed off. But Nick is gonna be fine. Everybody gonna be fine. The community, the Jewish community that was up in arms, they got what they needed, which was some, they love to discipline us. Everybody loves to discipline somebody. He got disciplined, and then as much as he lost a couple jobs. But Nick, if he never worked again from this day on, financially, he's still fine.
He's still rich.
He's been rich before wilding out or any of that.
True.
And So, as long as he can take care of his kids and stuff like that, I don't think he gives a shit. But he did issue an apology, which was incorrectly stated that he had not apologized, but he did issue an extensive apology for what he said and how he said it. How he really feels, I don't know. He'll have to tell me when we talk.
Yeah, I mean, he has an interview coming up with a rabbi who's the head of the Anti-Defamation League, and they're having a conversation about it. And I think ultimately, and this is some of the things I talked about with Charlemagne. People could speak, and they could say things that are hurtful, but if those people turn around and try to learn the other side of who they're talking about, I think that it's really up to us as a society to accept their apology and accept some of the things they don't know. Like, for example, when Deshaun Jackson put up the Hitler quote, I went on Twitter, I said, fuck Deshaun Jackson. But, like I explained to Charlemagne, 9 of my relatives were killed by Nazis. I actually said 9 of my aunts and uncles. It was actually my grand aunts and uncles. It was all my grandfather's brothers and sisters were killed by Nazis in World War II, whether by gunfire or camps. 50-something relatives that I would have had just got wiped out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know what you're saying, because the thing that's wild, though, is that you can count how many relatives were slaughtered.
Yeah.
We, as black people, we don't even have a count.
Right, it's millions. I get it.
We don't know. I don't know what family members of mine was slaughtered. I don't know what, nothing. We can't trace nothing back. I don't trust any of these 21 and Me, whatever that is, you know what that is. And
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The family tree shit, because after it goes back so far, then you can't trace nothing.
Right,
so
but I think that it's, you have to be careful, right, when you say, well, the murders that happen over here aren't as bad as the murders that happened over here.
No, I never.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because they're like, well, the Jewish Holocaust lasted 5 years. The Black Holocaust is still going.
Yeah,
that's 100% true,
and it is. But I never tried to I never tried to say anything. That Holocaust was so horrible. I couldn't even watch like Schindler's List. I can't even watch the shit. I could only read half.
I watched it. I watched it multiple times.
I couldn't do it.
Right.
Literally couldn't do it. And Ellie, what's his name? Ellie Meisel's book. That guy that Oprah was always hanging with and went to Auschwitz with. Anyway, he was he was captured and he made it out, and he wrote a book. I read half of that, and I just couldn't do it. That's how bad that it is. So I don't want to compare them. They were both horrible.
Yeah.
I don't think that we should compare.
No. Was slavery worse than the gas chambers? They're both equally horrible.
Yeah,
they're all horrific.
It's all horrific.
It's all horrific.
Yet somehow, the Jewish community has been able to restructure, rebuild, vamp and come up. And we haven't found had the opportunities to be able to do that. We're still,
I understand.
We're still,
I
but
understand.
that ain't got nothing to do with what we said about Nick.
Right.
Nick, he did what he did, and he stood by what he said, but he apologized for saying it in such a way as to come off cross or hurtful or insensitive. And he's trying to learn a better way to communicate how he feels about
Yeah.
that and talking to the rabbi and stuff like that. So,
Right. And
what
what
more
Nick,
do you want from fucking Nick?
right. And what Nick said was that now he basically has both communities mad at him because the Jewish community was mad at him, you know, white people as well. But then the black people got mad at him for apologizing. So it's one of those things. Like I said, I just need to get Nick on the phone. We need to have a conversation because some of the things that he said affects things that I identify with myself, you know, as a Jewish person, as a white person, you know, and so forth. So, you know, me and him just have to have a conversation. Hopefully that'll happen at some point.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when you do everything, it's gonna be, you know, he'll be like, hey man, you know how Nick is. He's not.
Yeah.
He don't have a vicious bone in his body. But then again, he's a brother from San Diego.
Yeah.
You know, he's not Mr. America's Got Talent. He's a brother from San Diego.